Today, we are going to talk about Bethesda's press conference at E3 2019. Our hopes, our expectations, our desires, whatever really tickles our fancy. Bethesda actually has a history at E3 since starting to do press conferences however many years back. They haven't been doing it that long. They genuinely have a pretty good showing every single year and are in contention for winning E3, quote-unquote winning E3 every single year. Last year, obviously, there's always a sour taste in your mouth, and that's because they unveiled Fallout 76 last year. They unveiled it, I think, at Microsoft's press conference, showed off more of it at their press conference, and we all know what Fallout 76 ended up being. Yeah, that was a bit of an embarrassment for the company, and they're going to need a bounce-back year to try to win back faith in consumers, because that was not how you want to leave gamers feeling about you moving forward. Now, last year, they also showed teases of some amazing games, including some that are a long ways off, like Starfield. Oh, man, did Starfield look good. And, of course, that general Elder Scrolls 6 announcement. But both of those games have been confirmed by Todd Howard that they will not be at E3 this year, stating that last year were teases at the technology behind those games, but they're still a ways off. So those are next-gen games, basically. Earliest I would expect to see anything about them would be next year. So those games are not going to be at E3. So as cool as those teases were last year and as much as it excited people, it obviously was kind of like the Metroid Prime 4 announcement, except just a little bit more to show. It's not something you should be expecting anytime soon, so that won't be here. Like now, anyways, they won't be here this year, as they said. One game we do know they're kind of building their E3 around is Doom Eternal. It is the only confirmed game by Bethesda that they will be showing off at E3 2019. And Doom Eternal is a big game. Doom 2016 ended up becoming a much bigger deal than I think they thought it would be. And Doom Eternal, the sequel, looks like it's more of the same, but even crazier, even faster pace, just more going on. And as Switch people, us being a Nintendo channel, well, Doom Eternal is coming to Switch. So this is actually a press conference, probably the first one out of the whole bunch, which has only been Microsoft before this one that we talked about, that we really should be paying attention to, because Doom Eternal is coming to Switch. It doesn't mean we're going to see Switch gameplay, because they often show these games on the best hardware, so whether it's PC or Xbox One X, but all the news for the game will be relevant to us for Switch. So Doom Eternal is something for us to pay attention to. It is something that's going to be there. Now, beyond that, nothing else is confirmed. This means that everything else happening at Bethesda's press conference is a guess, because we don't know what they're doing. But Wolfenstein Youngblood does come out this summer. So I would say it's probably a safe bet to assume we will see something about Wolfenstein Youngblood at the press conference. I don't know if we're going to see a lot, because it's not like a whole brand new major entry. It's kind of like this side story $40 thing, but it's still looking really, really nice from what we have seen. I wouldn't be surprised to see some of that here. Rage 2, which was a big announcement last year that ended up leaking, actually, and then got confirmed. They might have DLC coming for it. There is already DLC announced coming to the game, but we don't know what that DLC is. Potentially, they might show off what that DLC is at this press conference. I think those are probably three really safe things you can take away from what Bethesda might do at their press conference this year. But beyond that, we really have no idea, because that's three things. And I mean, are you going to build like an hour-long press conference around just those three things? It's possible Bethesda's going to do it. After all, Nintendo built an entire E3 around Breath of the Wild. So if they can pull it off around Breath of the Wild, it's possible Bethesda can pull it off around Doom Eternal. But I think they're going to have some surprises to show. One thing they do need to do, and I don't know what they have to announce, what could possibly be on slate, they need to do something nice for Fallout fans. Fallout 76 is an abomination that came out 2+ years before that game would even be close to ready to bring out to the public. They need to do something to assure Fallout fans that they have not forgotten about them and that they're going to do right with the next game, whatever that next game is. Probably should be a mainline entry in the Fallout series. I don't know that they need to have, a big showing for Fallout, but I do think, kind of like what they did with Starfield and what they did with Elder Scrolls 6, they need to tease the technology behind a next-gen Fallout game at this E3. I think that is going to be enough to make Fallout fans have a little bit more faith in Bethesda, when Bethesda had really not done wrong by Fallout fans until Fallout 76. So they need something. And I swear, if they spend a huge chunk of their conference talking about more DLC that you can buy for Fallout 76, then Bethesda really misread the crowd. They need to get more out there that isn't Fallout 76. They need to get rid of that bad taste of Fallout 76 with a tease to the future. That is something I hope they do. It won't be a huge focus, but it could be like the Elder Scrolls 6 Starfield showing last year. You spend a couple minutes, you show this really cool tech behind it, and you talk maybe a little bit about your hopes and your dreams. Maybe even be honest and admit you rushed Fallout 76. And if you don't want to say the word rushed, because maybe that makes your company look bad, say, at least acknowledge that you didn't meet players' expectations with Fallout 76 and you promised to do better moving forward. Bethesda's always been a company that gamers really connect with. Todd Howard has generally, I guess I should say, been a pretty good communicator with the fans. But Fallout 76 was an embarrassment. And it is something that they need to probably address. That's how big the embarrassment was, because everything they show at E3 now is going to be questioned because of Fallout 76. Like, is Doom Eternal actually that good, or are you just showing us the best vertical slices of the game? Is Wolfenstein Youngblood actually that good, or are you just showing us the best vertical slices of the game? Like, there's going to be a lot of questions, and anything Fallout related is always going to be like, oh, you are in prove-it grounds right now. But I do think they need to acknowledge that they didn't meet people's expectations, and they need to acknowledge that they will not let that happen again. I don't know how they want to do it, because any acknowledgement of it is admitting that you screwed up. But everyone knows you screwed up. You've been lambasted over. I mean, do you guys remember the situation around the Fallout 76? Like pre-order special edition bonus stuff where you're supposed to get like a cloth bag and then you got a nylon bag, and they never told anyone you were going to get a nylon bag until they started showing up. There was also some controversy around like the alcoholic drink you were supposed to get and how it ended up not really being what they promised. And and that's just with pre-order items. This is before you get into the fact the game itself was just a buggy garbage. It was just garbage. It felt like something that you would get on early access on Steam, if I'm being completely honest. It was just an unfinished game. It was a game that we heard horror stories from developers on, that we were not given any time to make this thing. It was slapped together super fast. We were pulled off other projects that were supposedly further along and made to make this online multiplayer Fallout game that just was not ready. And again, Fallout 76 could have been something cool, maybe even at the end of this year, or maybe launching in 2020, maybe as a launch game for next gen. But for some reason, they had to get out Fallout 76 now, and I don't know why, because they had Rage 2 coming. They could have waited on Fallout, but maybe they were trying to please investors. I have no idea. But they need to find a way to not only please investors, but also please fans this year. So I'm expecting Bethesda to have a lot of surprises, because if you look at what I talked about, that's it. There really isn't much else for me to even speculate on, because you don't know how much they're looking towards the future. I mean, are we gonna hear news on Quake? That's an IP they have. They haven't done anything with in a while. How about Prey? We haven't heard much on Prey in forever. Is there going to be a new one of those? I think that is something that is worth having a conversation about. But I don't know. Like, are we going to get something about Dishonored, right? Like, Dishonored was this new IP they created last gen, continued it. Is there going to be something coming from Dishonored? I mean, here's the thing. We're kind of in this weird space where next gen's around the corner with PlayStation 5 and the next Xbox, so a lot of these companies might not want to show off too much. Then again, if Microsoft is showing off a little bit of next gen, even if it's just a tease of next gen at E3, maybe now's the time. Hey, we're going to be there day one next gen. That's probably something they want to promise to people to get them excited. So Dishonored, maybe something with Dishonored. I don't know. Maybe the Evil Within 3, is that too much to hope for? Like the Evil Within 3, I don't know. I'm just kind of going through games that they have in their portfolio, and I'm just wondering, what can they surprise us with? I mean, heck, do they have another new IP that they can bust out? I mean, Ubisoft seems to be the one that's always busting out the new IPs. Is Bethesda going to take a crack at a new IP? Have they had a new IP really since Dishonored? I'm trying to think back now when the last new IP was before Dishonored, and I honestly cannot remember. It's been so long. They have a bunch of like Call of Cthulhu games and stuff like that, but in terms of like hyper successful games, I think most of them are still continuing as ongoing franchises. So yeah, I'm just curious what you guys are expecting to see from Bethesda, I guess, at this point. I kind of went over all of their major IPs. I don't know what IPs they could be looking to bring back. What IPs are they currently working on besides, obviously, Starfield, which is a new IP, by the way. But again, that's not something we're seeing for a long time. Same with Elder Scrolls. So what else could they have here besides Doom Eternal? Or do you think Bethesda's going to Breath of the Wild this SOB, and they're basically just bringing Doom Eternal? And that's all they're going to... Their entire booth at E3 will be Doom Eternal. All they'll have is Doom Eternal demos. Their entire press conference will just be Doom Eternal. Do you think this will just be the Doom Eternal E3 for them, as they're waiting to talk about everything else because it's for next gen? Or do you think there's going to be a lot of surprises, a lot of unexpected things, just like there's pretty much been every single year that Bethesda has done an E3 press conference? We're kind of in no man's land here. With this company anyway. Some other companies we know a bit more information on some stuff, but when it comes to Bethesda, we don't know anything that they're really working on that could be shown at this E3, since their two biggest titles in Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6 were confirmed to not be here. So you guys, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think, what your expectations are, what your hopes, what your dreams are. Do you think they're going to address anything with Fallout, or do you think they're just going to sweep it under the rug? That's obviously a possibility, although that to me seems like something more like Randy Pitchford would do. Throwing a little bit of shade at him. He's not done smart things this year, let's just say that. That being said, I am Nathaniel Robojans from Nintendo Prime. Be sure to enter our new Nintendo Switch Super Smash Bros. Bundle giveaway through the Gleam.io link down in the description. Absolutely free to enter. No reason not to. Like this video, subscribe for more content, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.